What's up, guys? We are back with the latest wave of Gundam Universe. We're talking Wave 5, and we're jumping in to Gundam Wing again. No surprise there. It's been very wing heavy across this line, but we are finally getting to my all-time favorite Gundam, period. Across every series, all timelines, my favorite singular Gundam suit is Gundam SANDROCK. And I mean, this is one that I thought we were going to be getting sooner in the line, but he sort of got pushed back. But he's finally here, and I am super excited to take a look at this guy because, well, again, he's my favorite. So of course, I've really been looking forward to this one ever since the line started, and of course, ever since we saw him revealed however long ago that was. So we've got him here in our standard Gundam Universe style packaging. A pretty small window for him up top, but you can see the overall bulk of the figure. It's got some great artwork of him down there on the bottom, and then we've got product shots on one spine, you've got the name and model information on the other, and then the back of the box, in typical fashion, be it this line or even Figuarts, has a lot of product shots, showcases how this guy moves, and then it's even got cross-sell for the other two figures in this wave. So let's do it. Let's pull them out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our SANDROCK Gundam from Gundam Wing. This is, what, the fifth entry in the Gundam Wing series in this line. We've had two Wings, we've had Death Scythe, Tall Geese, and now SANDROCK. And again, this is my favorite Gundam from the show, but it's also my favorite Gundam in general. For whatever reason, there's a lot of stuff about this thing that I just really like, from its pilot to its weaponry, and then of course to its just overall design. It's also, you know, really heavily featured in Gundam Wing too. It gets a lot of screen time, comparatively anyway, so there's a lot of instances to just enjoy it. And I'm really happy to finally have this figure. I think we've got probably one of the better entries in the entire line here, and I'm not just saying that because I've been looking forward to this one. There's just a lot about this that I really like, especially when it comes to the entire package here. So let's get started, see what this guy can do, see how he moves around. He is very familiar when it comes to this line. He's got a lot of the same hang-ups that other figures do, but he nonetheless still moves pretty well. So you've got a head that can look up slightly. He's really limited at the head, unfortunately. He can't really look down, though. You do have a little bit of tilt, and then you've got full rotation, of course. The shoulder pads will move to help get out of the way, so the arms go out at the shoulders. They do rotate all the way around. There is a bicep swivel right there. We've got double jointed elbows, so really good range on those elbows. As usual, that's pretty normal. And then we've got ball pegs down here for the wrist, so you've got a little bit of bobble, tilt side to side, or up and down, and then rotation. The torso is, of course, the area where these figures are usually the most hindered, and that, generally speaking, just comes down to their design and this type of figure. So there is sort of like a hinge on the inside, but it's really limited. So he can't really go backwards too far, but he can go forwards a little bit, just not a whole lot. And then, of course, you've got limited rotation there because of, well, a lot of overlapping plastic plates, basically. He has a little bit of movement. It's enough where you can get him into a running pose or into a walking pose without much muss or fuss. So I'm pretty happy with that otherwise. Let's move this arm out of the way. You've got the skirt pieces that are pegged into the little holes here, so they can go up and out about this far. You kind of raise them and they'll go up to allow the legs to go out. And if you were to take that plate off, it would go all the way out. I mean, that's basically perpendicular to the figure. The front pieces will also kind of move out of the way, so you can get them to go up and out. If you move them out to the sides, you're going to be able to kick a little bit better. You do have a twist up here at the thigh. It's not a true thigh cut because you've got the ball peg, but you can twist there to add a little bit of flair to your leg in general. We've got double jointed knees, but of course they're that big monster leg design, so they go back about that far. I was really worried that he was going to be super hindered at the ankles because he does have all the armor here, but it's not as bad as I expected. Like, there is a lot of wiggle room here, all things considered. So you can twist side to side. You do have rocker, and then he's got hinge forward and backward, and then the actual, I don't want to call them toes, but they will move a little bit as well to kind of aid in some of that foot articulation. So he's about the same as all the other figures in the line. There's not a whole lot that's different here, but I am finding him to be a little bit easier to pose just in a general sense. It's not a great quality of life improvement when it comes to messing with this guy, but I do think he is a little bit better than average for this line so far. Aesthetically with this guy, I am very happy. This is a line that is very much I say it a lot, it's like a clean line. So this is the suit as it would look if it was brought right off of the production facility floor, basically. So it's a brand spanking new mobile suit. So it's not panel lined, it's not dirtied up or anything, and there's definitely an argument to be made that you could panel line it, maybe throw a little bit of a wash on it, like some browns or something, and just to dirty it up, because of course the Sandrock is usually kind of dirty. It's shown in desert areas a lot. Obviously that's the thing here, but for this idea and this theme when it comes to this line where they're all very clean and it's a lot of molded plastic, well, overwhelmingly majority of it is molded plastic, I think he looks really good. This is specifically the SANDROCK Gundam also. So it's not the custom. It's not the one that has like the verniers in the shoulders. It doesn't have the extra booster on the backpack. So this is the original version. So there are a few different instances of this thing getting upgrades. Of course, it looks different in Endless Waltz. And, there's the Armadillo version even beyond that further down the line. But this is the base form. And this is the one I like the most. So I'm really happy with this guy here. It's just the overall design. A lot of it for me comes down to the shoulder pads. I really love that design. And I like the black and the yellow. And it works really well here. Of course, these figures are similar in size-ish to 1/144 scale model kits. And they sort of look that way as well in some instances because of the fact that it's just a lot of molded plastic on top of molded plastic. But for a mech suit, for a giant robot kind of suit, it works. It's not an instance where that's a problem to me. There is a little bit of paint here and there, but for the most part, this guy is just molded plastic. You might hit him with a panel lining job and he'll probably pop a little bit more. I don't really feel the need to do that with my figures because I just don't. But I do like him this way. He's very crisp and clean. All of these colors kind of just clash, but they all work together really well. And again, I'm a sucker for this design. I'm a sucker for this suit. So it's the one that I've been wanting to see the most. But I do think that they did a really good job with it. The backpack is removable. It's an accessory, but of course, it should be on him, so I popped it on him to begin with. But the skirt pieces look really good, bright and vibrant with that yellow. And you've got the green on the chest. You've got the green on the comb on the top as well. And of course, his four-pronged V. The head does look a little small in some instances, but that's not necessarily a negative. It's kind of how it should be. And again, I just like this thing's design. I think Bandai did a really good job on this. And for someone like myself who doesn't like to build smaller kits, if I build kits, it's going to be a master grade. On the off chance that I find myself doing it, this is a good way to go without going the Robot Spirits route. And I think in this instance in particular, we're getting a really nice looking figure. This is definitely my favorite of the bunch when it comes to the Gundam Wing stuff. But even then, aesthetically, this thing is very, very pleasing. Now for accessories, this is an area where I feel like this figure has a bit of an edge on others. And I kind of mentioned this previously, that I feel like this thing is a much more complete package than a lot of the other figures that we've gotten in this line. Generally speaking, there is always something missing with a Gundam Universe figure, be it a gun or a sword or anything like that, a beam saber. Sandrock really isn't missing anything. The argument sort of could be made that he's missing his machine gun, but it doesn't really go with this particular version. It's more meant for the version after it's been retrofitted to go into space. That's when they give him the gun and he would really use it. This in particular, he just needs his shield and the shuttles, and you're pretty much done. And that's what he has. So to start with, I've already kind of touched on it. We do have the backpack. And it's pretty basic. So you've got the backpack there with the vernier boosters on the back. It does have spots for the heat shuttles. Well, the shuttles, because they haven't been changed here. But you've got these big monster weapons. And this is another reason why I like the Sandrock, because it's an awesome set of weaponry. I think the shuttles are really, really cool. So those go in the backpack. And of course, you pop them out. And they're massive. They do have a nice metallic sheen on the blade. And of course, they've got that very signature curved design. So you've got two of these. There aren't any heat shuttles, so you don't get the transformed versions where they're like orange, red, if I can pop that out of there. So you've got that. We also, of course, get the snakehead shield, and it pops onto the forearm. So you've got this, and I think it looks fantastic. colors are bright and vibrant. Again, very much, you know, off the production floor basically, but it looks really good. The fangs on the end look great. But it can also be transformed because the Sandrock has the cross crusher where you can do a combination thing. So pop this guy off, take the backpack off, and you can pop the shuttles into the backpack like so. You put the shield on top of the backpack because it has a peg hole for it, and then you can put the shield on his forearm with the backpack, and you've got his sort of like fully combined weapon there where he would like sort of fire it off and blast people with it. So I do really like that. I think it's awesome that it's just able to be done. It is kind of big and unwieldy, but I mean, that's cool. And then he also does come with a couple hands because of course he has to be able to hold the things. So you've got fists on him in the box. We've got a gripping hand for left. We've got a trigger finger hand for the right. This is making me wonder if I need to go back and check, do we even have a regular gripping hand for a right hand in this line at all? Because he has no gun, so he doesn't really need a trigger finger hand, yet he has one. It makes me wonder if one exists at all. I bet it doesn't, and that's why he has one. Either way, it's not the biggest of deals. He also comes with the Tamashii stand adapter that plugs into his crotch, like we see across the board. But it's all about this right here. He has essentially everything he truly needs. You know, again, the argument could be made that maybe throw in a gun, the machine gun, the beam machine gun, but he doesn't really need it for this one. I think it's all about the shuttles, it's all about the backpack and the shield, and combined you've got the big cross crusher, and come on, he just looks really good. They're well equipped, they look fantastic, nice paint job on the shield, and I am just very, very happy to see that everything I truly wanted is actually in the box this time. And then as far as comparisons go, because I can do this, we've got a handful of other Sandrock figures to talk about real quick, just to show you what is available-ish, sort of. Well, not on the store shelves, really, but what you could actually get your hands on. So we've got our Gundam Universe figure here. This is the Robot Spirits Sandrock, so of course, you know, Bandai Tamashii Nation's kind of more in line with Figuarts. It's a more smaller form factor, more articulation, a lot more accessories, a much higher price point. This is specifically the Sandrock custom version, so it's got the verniers in the shoulders. It comes with a different backpack with a booster on it. It's got the transformed, the actual heat shuttles. So these guys here, you might see me use these with the Universe figure, and it's just a different kind of figure. So more in line with Figuarts. It also, like I said, comes with a gun. So this guy here, the beam machine gun, for comparison's sake. We've got this little guy here, so this is the Mobile Suit in Action line. This is the figure that you could have walked into Target or Walmart and gotten in the early mid-2000s, you know, when Gundam was super, super big, still on Cartoon Network, and everybody was all about it at the time. Well, I mean, people are still all about it, but I think you get what I'm saying here. This is one of my favorite lines from that era. I was all about this line. They don't hold up all that well, at least mine haven't. They're kind of gummy these days. But it's a nice looking figure. He's a chunky little guy. But this is, again, also kind of the Sandrock custom version. It's got the same kind of backpack that the Robot Spirits has. It also has the boosters in the shoulders, things of that nature. And then we've got my Master Grade model kit here. This is the Endless Waltz version, so it's a little bit different. It's not necessarily the same thing, but you can see there is a lot of similarity here. They just aren't 100% carbon copies of each other. So this is, again, the Robot Spirits, so smaller. This is the Mobile Suit in Action, even smaller, and then a Master Grade figure here. So as far as what you can walk into, you know, Target these days and get, I think we're getting a really solid piece with this. It's a far and away different kind of thing from a model kit, but it's also nowhere near the price of a Robot Spirits, not to mention the fact that if you wanted this guy, you're talking triple digits for sure right now. So as far as just getting a new figure, this figure is definitely where it's at. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I am very happy with this guy. I'm going to go so far as to say that this is my favorite figure in the line. And I'm biased, obviously, because I really do like this suit. It's just my favorite. When it comes to Gundam, the Sandrock is my favorite Gundam. The Camphor is my favorite non-Gundam. And it's never going to change, I don't think. So I'm so happy we finally got this guy. And I'm even happier with the fact that he feels a lot more complete than a lot of the other figures in this line. They all generally have something missing to kind of hit that $25 price point. but the Sandrock really doesn't have anything to sacrifice here. They gave him his weapons and they gave him his shield. They really couldn't have gone without either one of those, because then he would have definitely been incomplete and we would have had a big issue on our hands, just in terms of a collector standpoint. So I'm really happy that Bandai kind of went all out on this guy. I think colors look great. He moves well enough, very par for the course with this line. And I'm just happy that we're going to be able to see this guy on a store shelf again. It's gonna do a lot of things for me on a personal level, I'm sure. So that's going to do it for this look at the Gundam Universe Sandrock Gundam. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.